You were the child who never stopped staring upward.
While other kids chased soccer balls or climbed jungle gyms, you lay flat on the grass, eyes tracing invisible lines between stars. To you, the night sky wasn't just a ceiling, it was a map. You knew what a nebula was before you could multiply fractions. Your walls glowed with stickers of constellations, and your shelves sagged under books about Apollo missions and Voyager probes. People laughed and called it a phase, a childish fascination that would fade. But it didn't. You didn't grow out of it. You grew into it. The books got heavier, the posters became blueprints, and the questions deepened. You stopped asking why the stars are there and started asking, how do I get there? You didn't just want to look at space, you wanted to live in it. And from that moment, your life became a checklist. Every grade had to be flawless, every exam conquered, every activity chosen with purpose. Running track wasn't about medals. It was about lung capacity, about training VO2 max, as if the thin air of orbit were already testing you. You didn't just ace your courses, you tutored classmates, pushing yourself to be indispensable. Because becoming an astronaut isn't about dreaming, it's about qualifying. And the list of qualifications is brutal. Top of your class.
And the
degrees
list of
in physics, engineering, or biology.
Top of your class.
Military or research service measured not in months but in years. Hundreds of hours of flight time. Survival skills sharp enough to outlast Siberian winters. And the mind of a Buddhist monk in a thunderstorm.
Skills sharp enough to outlast Siberian winters.
Unbreakable.
And the mind of a Buddhist monk in a
pursued them all.
thunderstorm.
You joined the right programs.
Unbreakable.
You earned not just one degree, but several. Padding your resume until it looked less like a biography and more like a weapon forged for one purpose.
Padding your resume
you volunteered for medical drills, wilderness survival, underwater navigation. You learned how to stitch wounds, dive into the black silence of the ocean, and climb out of freezing rivers with nothing but grit. Piece by piece, you stopped being a teenager with dreams and became a prototype, a candidate in the making. But the hardest part wasn't the training, it was the waiting. You applied to NASA and were rejected. You reapplied and were rejected again. Each time, you polished yourself sharper, as if sanding away your humanity to fit into a mold. Many never make it. Their files gather dust. Their dreams scatter. But you kept going. You convinced yourself rejection wasn't failure. It was rehearsal. And then one day, the phone call comes. You're in. The moment should feel like triumph, but instead it feels like the ground shifting. Because now the real ordeal begins. Training isn't about glory. It's about breaking you down until even your instincts obey. You take language classes until Russian verbs roll off your tongue. Because someday, your life may depend on a button labeled in Cyrillic. You sit in classrooms packed with equations, learning orbital mechanics that make calculus look like child's play. Then you leave the classroom and step into simulation chambers, spinning centrifuges that pin you to your seat, underwater tanks where you rehearse extravehicular maneuvers with a 300-pound suit dragging your limbs. Machines blur your senses until you forget which way is up. You emerge dizzy, your body bruised, but your mind is expected to remain clear. Every hour, you're observed. Every hesitation noted. Can you focus when your body screams in protest? Can you keep your composure when you haven't seen sunlight in days? They put you in capsules with no windows, only canned air, and the same three voices crackling from a speaker. At first, you laugh. After a while, time dissolves. You forget whether a conversation happened aloud or only in your head, and still, you cannot break. One crack in your facade, one display of weakness, and you might never see a rocket up close. It's here, in the grind of preparation, that you realize the cruel paradox. Spaceflight isn't about soaring, it's about surviving. NASA doesn't just train astronauts, they train survivors. You learn to fix valves while upside down and vomiting, to reroute circuits when your oxygen is low, to smile while your brain begs for rest. The more you endure, the more you're sculpted into something that no longer feels fully human, but something necessary. a living checklist
You learn
designed
to
for the
fix
void.
valves while upside
And yet,
down and
beneath the
vomiting,
discipline,
to reroute
the child who
circuits
once
when
lay
your
on the
oxygen
grass
is low,
is still there.
to smile
The one who
while your
whispered
brain
constellations'
begs for
names
rest.
into the dark.
The more
That
you
child's
endure,
curiosity
the more
keeps
you're
you moving,
sculpted into something
keeps
that
you
no
enduring
longer
the endless
feels
drills,
fully human,
because
but
the dream
something
is no longer
necessary,
fantasy.
a living checklist
It's a razor's edge
designed
between
for the void.
acceptance and
And
elimination.
yet, beneath the discipline,
And now,
the
for the
child
first
who
time,
once lay on the
you are
grass
standing
is
on that
still
edge.
there.
You strap
The
into
one
the
who
capsule
whispered
hours before
constellations'
liftoff,
names into the dark.
cocooned in a suit of wires
That
and
child's
sealed fabric.
curiosity keeps you moving.
The silence
keeps
is heavy,
you enduring the endless
punctuated
drills
only by the
because
faint
dream
rumble beneath your
is
feet.
no longer fantasy.
You know every bolt was
It's a
torqued by
razor's
someone you'll
edge
never
between
meet,
acceptance
every
and
calculation
elimination.
double-checked by chains
And
of
now,
engineers.
For the first time,
Yet the truth
you are
gnaws at you.
standing on
It takes
that edge.
only one mistake, one
You
unseen
strap into
error,
the capsule
to turn
hours
this dream
before
into a
liftoff,
fireball.
cocooned in a suit
The
of
countdown
wires and sealed
begins.
fabric. The
Not
silence
fear,
is
not
heavy,
panic.
punctuated
Something colder
only by the
whispers
faint
in your
rumble
mind.
beneath your
This
feet.
could be it.
You know every
Then the
bolt was
engines
torqued
roar.
by someone you'll never
The
meet.
capsule shakes
Every
like an animal
calculation
straining
double-checked
against its
by chains
chains.
of engineers.
Gravity,
Yet the
your
truth
oldest companion,
gnaws at you.
turns violent.
It takes only
You
one
weigh
mistake,
4 times your body
one
weight.
unseen error
Each breath
to
feels
turn
like
this
a battle.
dream into
Your
a
jaw
fireball.
clenches, your ribs ache,
The countdown
your heart
begins.
thunders.
Not fear,
Nothing you
not
did,
panic.
not the
Something
centrifuges,
colder
not the drills,
whispers in your mind.
prepared you for the
This
raw
could
violence
be
of a
it.
rocket piercing the
Then
sky.
the engines roar.
And then suddenly,
the capsule
silence.
shakes like an animal
Microgravity.
straining against its chain.
Your body betrays
Gravity,
you at once.
your oldest companion,
Hens
turns
float
violent.
like ghosts.
You
Your
weigh
arms
4
drift
times your
without
body
command.
weight. Each
You are
breath
in
feels like
freefall
a
forever.
battle. Your
The
jaw
human
clenches,
body was
your
never
ribs
built for
ache,
this.
your heart thunders.
Fluids rush to your head,
Nothing you
puffing
did,
your face.
not the centrifuges,
Your spine
not the
stretches,
drills,
your stomach
prepared you
flips.
for the raw violence
Sleep
of a
becomes
rocket
fragmented,
piercing the
digestion
sky.
unreliable.
And then
You
suddenly,
hope you didn't bring a cold, because in
silence.
space, infections behave like
Microgravity.
tricksters, spreading
your
faster,
body betrays
mutating
you
quietly.
at once.
You try
Pens
to work.
float like ghosts.
Panels blink
your
with
arms
commands.
drift without command.
Experiments float
You
in
are
delicate
in free
containers.
fall forever.
Every movement is
The
slow,
human body was never
exaggerated,
built for this.
like swimming through
Fluids
glass.
rush to your
You
head,
bump into
puffing your
equipment.
face.
Tools
Your
drift
spine
away
stretches.
unless tethered.
Your stomach
Even
flips.
thoughts feel slippery,
Sleep becomes
untethered like your
fragmented.
body.
Digestion
You forget
unreliable.
steps, repeat
You hope
instructions,
you didn't bring
lose
a cold,
track of time.
because in space,
The Earth
infections
spins
behave
below
like
like a
tricksters,
luminous marble.
spreading faster,
But inside your
mutating
skull,
quietly.
confusion grows.
You try to work.
This slow
Panels
erosion
blink
of the
with
mind
commands.
is what breaks people.
Experiments float in delicate
Not a
containers.
catastrophic failure,
Every
but
movement
the drip
is
of
slow,
monotony, the
exaggerated,
steady blur
like
of
swimming
days.
through glass.
Irritability
You bump into
grows.
equipment. Tools
One crew
drift
member
away
chews too loud.
unless tethered.
Another
Even
leaves a
thoughts
wrench
feel
floating in your
slippery,
path.
untethered
Small
like your
frictions
body.
snowball into
You
sharp
forget
silence.
steps.
You try not
repeat
to snap,
instructions.
but
lose
recycled
track
air,
of time.
sleep deprivation,
The Earth
and
spins
the endless
below
hum of
like a
machinery
luminous
wear
marble.
you down.
But inside your
The
skull,
ISS becomes
confusion
both
grows.
miracle and coffin.
This
a
slow
5-bedroom
erosion
house
of
for
the
6
mind
souls.
is what breaks people.
You live in
not
tubes,
a
sleep
catastrophic
in sleeping
failure,
bags strapped
but
to
the
walls.
drip of monotony.
You eat
the steady
floating
blur
cubes
of
that
days.
taste like wet cardboard.
Irritability
There is no shower,
grows.
no privacy.
One crew member
Clothes
chews
grow
too loud.
stiff with sweat
Another
because
leaves
there is
a
no
wrench
laundry.
floating in your path.
You wear them
Small
until they're
frictions
launched back to
snowball into
Earth in
sharp
garbage
silence.
capsules.
You try not
Every
to snap,
sip of water
but
is
recycled
recycled.
air, sleep
Sweat,
deprivation,
urine,
and the endless hum of
condensation.
machinery wear you
You
down.
swallow knowing the taste of humanity
The
has been
ISS
through you
becomes
before.
both miracle and coffin.
Outside, the void
a
waits.
5-bedroom house
The
for 6
silence is
souls.
oppressive, broken
You live
only
in
by the
tubes,
machines that
sleep
keep you
in sleeping
alive.
bags strapped
There is
to
no
walls.
wind, no bird
You
song.
eat floating cubes
You forget
that
what
taste
green
like
looks
wet
like,
cardboard.
what soil smells like,
There is no
what
shower,
rain feels
no
like.
privacy.
When you press your
Clothes
face to the
grow
window,
stiff with
the
sweat
earth glows,
because there is no
impossibly
laundry.
beautiful.
You wear them until they're
Blue
launched
oceans
back to
swirl,
Earth in garbage
clouds
capsules.
curl like
Every
brushstrokes,
sip of water
city lights
is
glitter at
recycled.
night.
Sweat,
But beauty
urine,
doesn't change truth.
condensation.
Space is trying
You
to kill you
swallow
every
knowing
second.
The taste of humanity
A
has been through
micrometeorite
you
could puncture
before.
the hull.
Outside,
A solar
the void
flare
waits.
could fry your
The
circuits.
silence
A
is
coolant
oppressive,
leak could
broken
poison
only
the air.
by the machines that keep
There are
you
no
alive.
second chances, no pauses,
There is
only
no wind,
consequences.
no bird song.
And the
You
body
forget what
pays for
green
every
looks like,
sunrise.
what soil
Your muscles
smells
weaken,
like, what
your
rain
bones
feels
thin.
like. When
Your
you
immune
press your
system
face to the
retreats.
window, the earth
Your eyes
glows,
warp from fluid pressure
impossibly
until your
beautiful.
vision changes
Blue
permanently.
oceans swirl.
At first,
Clouds
it feels
curl
subtle,
like brush
a
strokes.
twitch in your
City
sight,
lights
a
glitter at
dizziness
night.
when you move move too
But
quickly.
beauty doesn't change
Over
truth.
time, you
Space
feel your
is trying to
humanity
kill you
leaking
every
away,
second.
traded
A
piece by piece for the
micrometeorite
privilege
could
of
puncture the
orbit.
hull. A
You are
solar
still
flare
alive,
could fry your
but
circuits.
less earthling
A
with each
coolant
passing
leak
day.
could poison the air.
The loneliness
There
is
are
not
no
simple
second
isolation,
chances, no pauses,
You are never
only
alone.
consequences.
Yet you feel detached,
And the
like
body
Earth
pays
itself
for
has
every
become a memory.
sunrise. Your muscles weaken.
Family calls
your
help,
bones
but
thin.
only sometimes.
Your immune system
You
retreats.
smile for the camera,
your eyes
say you're
warp
doing great,
from fluid pressure
but you don't
until
tell
your
them
vision
about the
changes
insomnia,
permanently.
the headaches,
At
the moment
first, it
staring
feels
out
subtle,
at the void when
a
the
twitch
thought
in your
strikes.
sight, a dizziness
Maybe I don't
when you
belong
move
down
too
there
quickly.
anymore.
Over time,
This is the paradox.
you feel your humanity
You have
leaking
reached
away,
humanity's frontier,
traded piece
a
by
place
piece
poets
for
and
the
prophets
privilege of
dreamed
orbit.
of for centuries.
You are still
and
alive,
yet here,
but
among
less
stars
earthling
and
with
silence,
each passing day.
you feel most fragile,
The loneliness
most
is
human.
not simple isolation.
The very thing that
You
makes
are
space
never
so
alone.
breathtaking,
Yet
its
you feel
indifferency,
detached,
is
like
the thing
Earth
that
itself
breaks you.
has become a memory.
When the mission ends, relief
Family
is not
calls
what you
help,
expect.
but only sometimes.
You strap into a
You
cramped
smile
capsule,
for the camera,
knees bent,
say you're doing
shoulders
great,
pressed against
but
the
you
hull.
don't tell them about the
There is no
insomnia,
comfort,
the headaches,
only
the
straps,
moment staring out at the
switches,
void,
and the
when
knowledge
thought
that you are
strikes.
about to fall.
Maybe I don't
The
belong
capsule
down
shudders,
there anymore.
then plunges into fire.
This
The
is
atmosphere
the paradox.
claws at you,
You
friction
have reached
tearing the air
humanity's
into plasma
frontier,
outside your
a
window.
place poets and
Gravity
prophets dreamed
returns
of
with
for
vengeance.
centuries.
Your chest compresses,
And yet
your
here,
joints scream.
among stars
Blood
and
rushes
silence,
confusedly
you
through your
feel
body,
most fragile,
unsure where to
most
go after
human.
months of drifting.
The very
You
thing
land
that
on
makes
Earth,
space
but
so
you do not return the
breathtaking,
same.
Its indifference
Standing is an ordeal.
is the thing that breaks you.
Your legs tremble,
when the mission
refusing
ends,
commands.
relief is not what
It
you
will
expect.
take months to feel stable
You
again.
strap into a
If
cramped
stability
capsule,
ever fully
knees
returns,
bent, shoulders
your muscles
pressed
are
against
diminished,
the hull.
your bones
There
lighter,
is no
your
comfort,
heart sluggish.
only straps,
Nights bring
switches,
phantom
and the
sensations of
knowledge
floating,
that you are
your body
about to
tricked
fall.
by memory.
The capsule shudders,
Even as you walk
then
again,
plunges into
part
fire.
of you still drifts in orbit.
The atmosphere claws
The
at
public
you,
sees the
friction
astronaut as
tearing
an
the air
icon,
into plasma
the explorer
outside
who
your
touched
window.
the heavens.
Gravity
They ask
returns
about the
with
beauty,
vengeance.
the stars
Your
that
chest
stretch forever,
compresses. Your
the
joints
earth glowing like a
scream.
marble in a sea
Blood
of black.
rushes confusedly
And
through
you
your
smile.
body,
You
unsure
tell
where
them
to
the
go
story
after
they want.
months of drifting.
You speak of wonder,
you land on
of
Earth,
silence,
but
of
you do not
perspective.
return the same.
But you do not tell them about the
Standing
insomnia,
is an ordeal.
the sudden shortness of breath,
Your legs
the way
tremble,
loneliness lingers
refusing
like static in
commands.
your chest. You don't
It will
tell them
take
how
months
much you
to
miss
feel
the simple
stable
weight of a
again,
hug,
if
the
stability
grounding of
ever
rain on
fully
your skin.
returns.
Because they want heroes,
Your muscles
not
are
fragile
diminished,
survivors.
your bones lighter,
And yet,
your heart
something
sluggish.
inside you has changed permanently.
Nights bring
You
phantom
carry invisible
sensations
scars,
of floating,
yes,
your body
but
tricked
also
by
something
memory.
else. A sharpened
Even
awareness,
as you walk again,
a perspective
part of
that
you
can't
still
be
drifts
unlearned.
in orbit. The
You
public
know what it
sees
feels
the
like to
astronaut
orbit
as
above
an
the
icon,
planet,
the
to see all of
explorer who
humanity
touched the
contained in a
heavens.
fragile sphere
They
below.
ask about the beauty.
You've looked out a window and
stars
felt
that
both
stretch
awe and
forever,
detachment,
the earth
wonder
glowing
and melancholy.
like a marble in a sea of
You've
black.
lived the paradox,
And you
trading health
smile.
and comfort
you tell
for
them
history.
The story they want.
This is the secret
you speak
cost of
wonder,
being an astronaut.
Of silence,
You
of
lose
perspective.
pieces of yourself,
But
sometimes
you do not
permanently.
tell them about the insomnia,
Your body
the sudden
aches when it
shortness
rains.
of breath,
Your mind
the way
drifts during
loneliness lingers
conversations.
like static
Sleep
in
is
your
never the
chest.
same.
You don't tell them
And yet,
how much you miss
you
the
would
simple
still do
weight
it
of
again,
a hug, the grounding
because
of
the
rain
itch never
on your
dies.
skin.
The child
Because they
staring at
want
the stars
heroes,
never really
not fragile
leaves.
survivors.
That is why,
And yet,
despite the
something
pain,
inside you has changed
astronauts return to
permanently.
training,
You carry
return to
invisible
waiting,
scars,
return
yes,
to the endless
but also
cycle of
something
preparation
else.
for a launch
A
that may
sharpened
never come.
awareness, a perspective
Because
that
space,
can't be unlearned.
for all its cruelty,
You know
holds
what
a
it
promise
feels
bigger
like
than
to
fear,
orbit above
bigger
the
than
planet,
sacrifice.
to see all
It is
of
not about
humanity
glory.
contained in a
It is
fragile
about
sphere
answering
below.
the human urge
You've
to
looked
push
out a
beyond
window
borders,
and felt both
to
awe
touch the
and
edge of the
detachment,
unknown.
wonder,
And so you
melancholy.
stand again on Earth,
You've lived
heavier,
the paradox,
weaker,
trading
changed.
health and comfort
But
for
in your
history.
chest, the same
This
question
is the
still
secret
whispers,
cost of being
what's
an astronaut.
next?
You
Because
lose
being an
pieces of
astronaut
yourself,
isn't about
sometimes
surviving one
permanently.
mission.
Your
It's about
body
never
aches
stopping.
when it rains.
It's about
Your
showing
mind
up again
drifts
and again,
during conversations.
even when the cost is
Sleep
high.
is never the same.
That is why it sucks to be
And
an
yet,
astronaut.
You
And
would
that is
still do
exactly
it
why
again,
people never stop becoming
because
one.
the itch
You were the
never
child who
died.
never stopped
The
staring
child
upward.
staring at the stars
While other
never
kids
really
chased
leaves.
soccer balls
That
or
is why,
climbed jungle
despite
gyms,
the pain,
you lay flat on the
astronauts
grass,
return to training,
eyes tracing
return to
invisible
waiting,
lines between
return
stars.
to the endless cycle of
To
preparation
you,
for a
the
launch
night sky
that
wasn't
may
just a
never come.
ceiling. It was a map.
Because space,
You
for
knew
all
what
its
a nebula
cruelty,
was
holds
before
a
you could
promise
multiply
bigger than
fractions.
fear, bigger than sacrifice.
Your walls glowed with stickers
It
of
is not about
constellations,
glory.
and your
It
shelves
is about
sagged under
answering the
books
human
about
urge
Apollo
to push
missions
beyond
and Voyager
borders,
probes.
to touch the edge
People
of the
laughed and
unknown.
called it a phase, a
And
childish
so you
fascination
stand
that would
again
fade.
on Earth,
But it didn't.
heavier,
You You didn't
weaker,
grow out of it.
change.
You grew into it.
But in your chest,
the books
same
got
question
heavier,
still
the
whispers,
posters became
what's
blueprints,
next?
and the questions
Because
deepened.
being an astronaut
You stopped
isn't about
asking why the
surviving
stars
one
are there,
mission.
and started
It's about
asking,
never
how do I
stopping.
get there?
It's about
You didn't
showing
just
up
want to look
again
at
and again,
space.
even
You
when
wanted
the
to live
cost
in
is
it.
high.
And from that
That is
moment,
why it
your
sucks
life
to be
became a
an
checklist.
astronaut.
Every
And that is
grade had to be
exactly why
flawless,
people never stop
every exam
becoming one.
conquered,